saga.
Hey everybody, it's Benny1 and I'm back at you with another Star Wars movie review, everybody. And we're moving on to Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, everybody. That's right, the sequel to The Phantom Menace, everybody. And I have to say that this, honestly, as far as the episodic movies, you know, the prequel trilogy, the regular trilogy, and then the new trilogy, I would probably say that this is probably the weakest movie in the 9 movies that are in the core Skywalker saga. This is very easily the weakest movie. The most frustrating? No. I will say that this is not the most frustrating one, but is very clearly, for me, the weakest one out of the bunch. So, our cast is all back, except for Anakin is played now by Hayden Christensen, because he's a lot older in this movie. We got I think it was like a 10-year jump in time. He's still a Padawan. Him and ObiWan, man, they really like it. They show that Anakin does not like listening to ObiWan. Oh my god. He he argues with him constantly. He goes against his teachings, his training, like constantly just arguing with him in this movie. And I think Hayden Christensen played him in this one and then episode 3. And this is, I don't really enjoy him in this movie. I enjoy his like what he did and what they did with Anakin in episode 3. This one, my god, he's very whiny, and just he's very, very whiny in this movie. So, but yeah, everybody else is back in the movie that was in the first one, obviously, except for the people that died. So yeah, this movie has good things about it. It does. It really has good things about it. I love the little things that they put in the movie showing the beginning parts of Anakin starting to kind of turn to the dark side. Like when he goes to find his mom, who has been captured by the Sand People, and he finds her, and she ends up dying in his arms because she's been held captive for a while, and she ends up dying. That is some very dark shit. And he kills and slaughters every single living thing in that Sand People tribe and little village that they have. He kills all the men, the women, and even the children. And when him and Padme have that little talk, and he's blaming Obi-Wan for holding him back, and then he just breaks down, and like, it's dark shit. Like, they show the early beginnings of him starting to turn to the dark side in this movie, which I love. I love that stuff with him, but pretty much everything else in the movie with him, not so much. Not so much, everybody. There's an awesome scene on Geonosis at the end of the movie where we get a ton of Jedi on screen battling the droid armies. Like, awesome shit. Any Star Wars fan should love that shit, no matter if it's in a bad movie, a great movie, or a good movie. Awesome stuff right there. We get to see Yoda freaking whip out a lightsaber and fight with a lightsaber for the first time. I think it's cool. I loved it when I saw it in the movie theater for the first time. Some people hate it because it's a little CGI green guy flipping around, jumping around, doing flips and shit. I think it was cool. I liked it. They show Palpatine, like, you can see the freaking Emperor, you know, Darth Sidious, you can see that in him, but he's, you know, he's the Supreme Chancellor, and him like twisting Anakin and being a mentor to him. You can see the early stages of that shit in this movie. That's the stuff I love about this movie. I love the Kaminoan stuff with the clone army, when Obi-Wan goes there to try and figure out the mystery of who's trying to assassinate Senator Amidala, because she's a senator now. And so yeah, now the problem with the movie is the movie has a lot of plot lines, because we have the assassination stuff with Django, and then we also have this romance, god awful romance plot line with Anakin and Padme. They want you to try to totally believe the romance between these two, but it's not. I can't buy into it. It's not. It's not good. The dialogue between the two is very cringy. Very, very cringy. And then there's this mystery plot with Obi-Wan trying to figure out who has been trying to assassinate Padme. So we have these plot lines, but the problem is there's no central story plot that's driving this movie forward. We just have a bunch of these little side plots, and until like you're a good hour and a half into the movie's just kind of bland. And you have these three plot lines, but there's no core story plot line driving them to, you know, solidify all of it. And that it's why the story is so weak in this movie. And Dooku, our big main villain, you know, Count Dooku, who used to be a part of the Jedi Council, who you learned was Qui-Gon's master, and then you learn that Yoda actually trained Dooku. He doesn't show up until over halfway into the movie. It's like an hour and 20 minutes into the movie. So that's another issue is our main villain doesn't show up until over halfway into the movie. And that's just, it's just, this movie is, and like I said in my review for episode 1, I'm a Star Wars fan. I have been since I was like able to understand movies and watch them when I was like 4 or 5. I love Star Wars. I love the bad Star Wars. I love the great, the good. I don't care. I love Star Wars, but this is a very flawed movie. Very flawed movie, and I think it's one of, if not the weakest movie in the Star Wars movie franchise. And I'm talking about all of them, even the side movies that they've done. So I'm going to give Attack of the Clones, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. I find it very weak. The story and everything, the acting is not the best in the world. The special effects even look kind of in parts, but it does have great parts. It does, but I just think it's one of the weakest movies in the franchise. So a 5 out of 10 for Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed that review. Thanks for watching, and I'll be catching you on the tube later, because I have spoken.